What up, my friends? Still day 181. I was thinking as on my walk here earlier about promiscuous lifestyles, right? And I think about it a lot more now that I have two teenagers, right? My son's about to be 15, my daughter's about to be 17. And they're somewhat, well, not somewhat, they're a lot more like teenagers and still in their childhood more than I was at their age. By the time I was my daughter's age, I was already locked up for like a year and a half, almost 2 years. Well, by 17, it was 2 years. And, my son, he'll be 15, and by the time I was 15, that's about right when I got locked up, like several months before I turned 15. But anyway, they're more like teenagers, they're more like kids, which is nice. But I do worry about not just my daughter, and people are like, oh, you want your daughter doing it? Well, yeah, of course not. You know what I mean? I want my daughter to date, and my son, I want them to date for love and for marriage, the goal ultimately, I hope for them, is not to rack up as many bodies as they can like it was for people in my era, or at least some of us, and I can say from experience, all those randoms, like I don't think about any of those. Like I think about the embarrassing times, like when I got whiskey dick or whatever, or it's too fucked up and it was just like a lazy this or that, or it was just mess. It's just gross, you know what I mean? Like drunken stupidness on both parts. And that's the thing, like I don't think about any of that as like something that benefited my life. At the time, I thought it was everything, I mean, I probably cheated on every girlfriend that I ever had in my past, right? Some more than others because I cared about them more than other ones that I didn't care about, but I always was looking to that outer influence to tell me that I'm worth it, right? And I can tell you this much, none of that random sex, none of that random experience, right? None of that benefited my life. None of it. I think back on it now as it was very risky, very dumb behavior, right? Half the time, never, barely ever used protection. If I was forced, sure, and that's freaking terrible. But, I mean, in today's day and age, if you're a guy especially, you can't just go out and have a random drunken one-night stand with somebody, with a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because, and if she's drunk too, like you can't, back in our day, we could do that, and people got caught up for that shit too, but it was very rare back in those days. People were like, well, I put myself out. You know what I mean? Nowadays, everybody's a victim. And I'm not saying that real female victims and male victims don't, and victimizers don't exist. They do. I mean, I remember people in my past, like getting with a girl and them sticking with her for like 6 months because she was a virgin, and then once they hit it, they quit it. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be careful. And plus, you never want to be accused of something, this and that. You really gotta look out for yourself today. That random drunken, 2 a.m. last call sex romp is nowhere to be these days. I mean, just the trouble you could get into with it, for one. And then just there's nothing to it. There really isn't anything to it. I mean, and people are going to do what they want to do. People could say, oh, well, you got to do it. And, well, yeah, I got to experience a lot of stuff that and, now I think about it, I was like, oh, that wasn't it. And, they say the more sexual partners you have, the least likely you are to have a substantial, long-lasting, lifelong marriage, with a family and children. And, I think there might be something to that for sure. Especially when you're used to that wandering eye and I don't know. I don't think it's the way to be these days. There's so many diseases out there now. Nobody's honest with each other. People will tell you they're looking for a relationship and they are not. You know, you got to be very careful who you let into your life. And that goes for your friends as well. Never mind sexual partners or lovers, right? Because you shouldn't just have sexual partners. You know, we should all be seeking a deep, meaningful relationship. You know, sex is part of that for sure, you know. But we should all be seeking that, you know, stability and, you know, building up a household, a family, and a community. I don't care what your family looks like, you know. I don't care, black, white, mixed. We're all mixed up, you know, gay, straight, trans. None of it matters, man. None of it matters unless there's someone who treats you well, cares deeply for you, and you feel the same and do the same, you know. And I don't think that any of the random sex acts that I had with strangers late at night all fucked up benefited any of that in any way, shape, or form. You know, I mean, we all pretend to be a certain way, especially when we're trying to get laid at a bar. So you don't even know the person that you're getting to know. You know, you really have to take the time, get to know somebody. You know, if all we're giving out is random sex experiences, that's what people are gonna get from you. That's what they're gonna want to receive from you. You know, if they know that you're seeking out a long-lasting, long-term, loving and caring, you know, adult relationship with each other, where you communicate and you're 50-50. And I don't mean 50-50 like, oh, we're both equals. Like, yeah, we are, but we're different, right? Men and women are different, and that's okay. You know, we each have our roles, you know. But you're not, you know, that's what you'll get. If that's what you're seeking out, that's what you'll get, you know. And sure, you know, it took time for me to realize this over the years, but, you know, I was always seeking for that outside approval. You know, I'm not seeking outside approval anymore, as many of you probably know. But, you know, I am seeking the approval of what's in here. And I'm seeking the approval of my loved ones, you know, my children, my mom, my brothers, my family as a whole, my girlfriend, you know, and even friends, right? You really got to be careful who you let into your life, you know. And what was the line in Animal House? Being drunk, fat, and stupid your whole life is no way to live. It's fucking true, man. I've been thin and active. I've been fat, drunk, and stupid. I've been on drugs. I've been this, that. You know, I prefer this way better. I take care of myself physically, what helps me take care of myself mentally, and that's opened me up spiritually to a broader, happier, more beneficial life. And that's what we should all be seeking out in our relationships with the opposite sex, or whoever we're attracted to, right? Whoever we're sexually attracted to or physically attracted to, you know, whatever that might be. Seek out the right, seek out the righteous, seek out the ones that are going to help you and that you can help and that you want to be a team together and conquer the world. It's the best feeling ever to not have to worry about anybody else outside of your circle, especially your family circle, right? Like, you know, the people in your house are solid. That's important. You know, having peace when you come home is very important to everybody, but especially a man. You know, a lot of us, you know, we don't want for much. You know, we want to be respected, we want to be loved, we want to be cared for, and we want to do the same thing to our significant others. You know, that's all I got today, man. Day 181, 2 more days, and half the year is gone. That's it. That's it. Did you do all you wanted to do so far in the first 6 months of your 2024? I know I haven't, but I'm definitely on my goals. You know what I mean? I'm definitely on the route to it for sure. All right, everybody. Like, subscribe, and share. I'll talk to you when I talk to you. Peace.